Welcome to another video of Kian.Smart Home. In this video, I'm going to introduce a plugin that makes Vera complete. PLEG, which is abbreviation of Program Logic Event Generator, provides super scenes in Vera. This plugin allows you to specify inputs, condition expressions in order to implement your advanced logic and associate actions to them. Using this plugin, you can define multiple complex condition expressions, each with its own set of actions and notifications. So, by creating arbitrary number of complex events, you can have a smarter home. In other words, by using PLEG plugin in Vera and knowing a little about logics, you can have complex scenes. By the way, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please click on the subscribe button. Stay with me to have a look at the plugin. To use the PLEG, you have to install it in your Vera unit. By going to apps, install apps, you can do that. First of all, you have to install Program Logic Core PLC in your Vera unit. After that, you are allowed, or let's say you should install Program Logic Event Generator. After installing PLEG, by going to the devices page, you can see that Program Logic Event Generator is displayed. If the PLEG is armed, it is active. By clicking on bypass, it is disabled and scenes are not run, scenes that you have in PLEG. So be careful to have it in ARM condition. Let's go to the PLEG by clicking on the arrow, then clicking on edit. In this page you can add scenes to PLEG. On the top of the page we have two rows. The first one, we have logic inputs, conditions, logic actions, relationship graph, and editor option. By clicking on logic inputs, for having scenes, you start by specifying set of inputs combinations. So, in logic inputs, we have device triggers, schedules and timers, device properties, counters, and house modes. By clicking each of the items, you can have inputs based on it. In device triggers, as you can see, you can have triggers. Easily by clicking on new trigger, you can add new input. In trigger name, you should set a name for your trigger. In comment section, you can add a comment. In trigger device, you select your device. I select motion sensor. After selecting the device, in event type, you can select the type of trigger from the drop down list whenever device is armed and detects motion. Then I click on save. New trigger is added. You can have the same things for schedules and timers, device properties, counters, and house modes. The house modes, let's enter them. I click on new house mode. I set a name as home for it. No comment is needed. I select home. Conditions. Let's click on conditions. Condition expressions may be a combination of triggers, schedules, device properties, or other conditions with a full set of operators. To add conditions, you should click on new conditions. In condition name, you must set a name to your condition. In comments section, you can add comment. We skip other parts for later videos. In this box, you have to insert your condition or write it. In front of syntax assistant, there is a drop-down list. From it, you can select your inputs that are input triggers, input schedules, properties, and others. Even condition, you can insert conditions. I have added motion sensor. I click motion sensor from the list, then select insert after selected. Motion sensor trigger is added in the box. From the drop-down list, you can select operators, as they can be logic operator, number operator, a string operator, sequence expression, a multi-trigger expression, general expression. You can see that you can have complex condition in PLEG easily. By clicking on save, condition is added. Here in conditions page, you can have a summary of your conditions, the name, options, logic expressions. You can remove them or edit them, their last value, last true time, last false, or previous change. Let's have actions. In logic actions page, from the drop-down list, you can select conditions that are not associated with actions. I click on the condition, turn on light. You can have or add comments to it. By clicking on Lua, you can have your actions in Lua code. You can have your action run immediately or by interval. To add interval, you can easily insert the delay time. As an example, 10 seconds, add interval. Okay, if I click on delay 10, then I can select the devices which I want to have actions after 10 seconds delay. Let's remove it. I select immediate, which means immediately I want to have action in run mode after condition is true. Device action table for selected interval. From the drop-down list, I select the devices. In our example, I select halogens. By default, it is set to advanced, or let's say advanced mode is enabled. In front of the action, from the drop-down list, I can select advanced options. For example, set the target to 1. If I disable the advanced mode, you can see that we have the UI of the device, and then we can select what happens to the device. By clicking on save, action is added. In relationship graph, you have all the programs here. As you can see, home is not dedicated to any other items. In editor option, you can close the page. You can get the status report. This is useful for removing bugs of your programming. Logic reports. You can have logs. Register. The plugin is licensed. You get 30 days free unlimited access from time of your first install. After 30 days, unlicensed users are allowed a total of 3 PLG devices, each with maximum of 5 inputs and 5 conditions. You can create a backup of your PLG, and then you can restore backups. After adding new scenes, you have to click on reload Lua. I hope this video was informative. If you have any question, do not hesitate to leave comments. Bye bye.